He's a freaking nerd. I think I'm better than Chuck Swarskey. Freaking oh, Jesus.
If you're wondering what happened, so am I. Welcome, everybody. Remember the 22nd of November, 1987. Day that will live on forever. And today, we're going to play through Smash TV. And I'm going to give you my memories of the Max Headroom incident. So now in 1987, when this happened, like nobody knew about this. It was national news, and that's how I heard about it. But it wasn't the way it is now, like with everybody talking about it. And there definitely wasn't like a lot of conspiracies around it. And I see a lot of this stuff and it's bullshit. And especially like the stuff that you see on Reddit about it. It's just not how anything went down back in the day at all. We'll see if we can get all 10 keys today. So I heard about like the day after it happened, when it started making the news. So it was on the CBS morning news, which was like, it was lame because that was what we had before school. You know, like there was that and like a bunch of garbage, really. Once upon a time, we had Captain Kangaroo, and that was like, they were like, "Oh, well, this costs money. We're just going to do an extra hour of news. Hey, we got a key." And I remember, you know, before school, hearing about this, like they teased it coming up on the news, but they didn't get to it until after I would have left for school. So I didn't get to hear about it. There was like a little blurb in the paper, but like they teased enough where it's like there was going to be, they had footage of it, and I'm like, oh hell yeah, I want to see this. And then that night, the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather, and you can find that segment on YouTube. It was it's like a 4-minute little segment where they talk about it, and they have a little, oh man, little infographic about how it would have been done, you know, and interviews with people. The famous one of the guy saying, I wanted to throw my TV through the window, I was so angry. Which we'll get to these people's absolutely normal reactions to it. But that was, oh great. And yeah, so the one thing though on that segment on CBS Evening News was they did show the video, and that blew my young mind. There, I'm at the tender age of 10, yeah, seeing this, and already like I love the Max Headroom, and I mean. Television pirate, is that they called it, and we knew about like pirate radio and stuff. That was a thing, but like pirating a TV signal never happened. Like that just seemed completely impossible. Oh man. And they showed it, and I'm like, oh cool. But what and this is one of the, I mean, there's many things that made it stand out because it's freaking awesome, but they showed his bare ass getting spanked. So like, if you watch the video at the start of this, or if you go look it up and watch it, if you've seen it, like, like there's that point where he goes, oh, they're coming to get me. And then he starts mooning, well, he doesn't moon the camera. But he has his pants down, he has his mask off, kind of on there. And then there's a woman behind him, dressed in like a maid outfit, who starts spanking him with a fly swatter. And and they showed that, and I mean, it's like, it's not like you see crack or anything, like it was from the side, but like you're seeing his hip. And it was just weird to see this. like 6:30 p.m. on the national news, right? And they're just showing some guy's ass who's getting spanked by a fly swatter. And that added a whole level of what the fuck to the entire thing. More than, like the broadcast itself. It was it was like what they're showing this on TV, like they're showing this on the news. It'd be like one thing that happened, but another thing to actually show it. But again, like I said, CBS canceled Captain Kangaroo to show an hour of news before school. And And so they would show news where instead of Captain Kangaroo and like children's programming before school, you get to see freaking interviews with Ted Bundy before he died. Like it was a crazy time. Oh man, that was a cool death. But they showed it, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. And it was a story I was really interested in. I really wanted more. I wanted to know everything about this case. And of course, there was never any follow-up. There was like There was that segment. National news never mentioned it again. There was a write-up in the paper, like a little AP blurb, and that was it. Like we're talking like 2 columns. And never any follow-up. And I looked for it, but that was it. And the thing is, like at school, I was the only kid that knew this because I was the only one that, I had to watch the news. Like nothing else was allowed to be on at like 6 o'clock. Forget it. News is on. Worked out for me that time. Whatever. I'd read the paper, like go through it, see if anything is interesting there. Nobody else did. I'm 10 years old when this happened. So, whatever. And nobody knew about it. And I don't think people believed me when I told them. I mean, like they knew that this happened. Like there was the newspaper clipping that talked about it. But when I said, yeah, they showed this on the CBS Evening News. Like Dan Rather was there talking about it, and they showed it, and the guy was getting his ass spanked, his bare ass spanked with a fly swatter. And it was wild, and that was it. And it became like this thing that occasionally, once, I remembered it Nobody else did. And I would, when the internet became a thing, I would look for stuff about it, but there really wasn't anything about it. And then it did show up thanks to fuzzymemories.tv on YouTube. The Chicago television archive. A great time capsule of television history, even though it's from Chicago. And now, like, I wasn't in Chicago. You know, I grew up on the East Coast. But, alright, well, gonna go down. I did get WGN, and of course I didn't see that the original incident, and that was something like that was barely talked about. It gets talked about a lot more now, and footage of that was even harder to come by than the actual PBS hijack, and that's because, like, it interrupted Doctor Who, so everybody was recording that, but nobody's like really recording WGN news that you would get. So that had to come from like other outlets, I suppose. Again, going, oh, I don't know what happened. If you're wondering, blah blah blah. And then I'll get into like the technical aspects of it. So, like, the reason this is so remembered, and more than like Captain Midnight, which was like the only frame of reference we had at that point, really, for anything like this. And that was just a guy putting text over, color bars. It's kind of like, well, that, that's not really fun. It was just like $10 a month HBO, no way. And he was caught pretty quickly, but nobody caught the Max Headroom guy. And that was something that was really surprising. Like, you're expecting to hear this. And so, just to go through the full history of it, at first it was the WGN News at 9. They tried to hijack the signal, and they got like a few seconds. Oops. Damn. With no audio, because the signal was too strong at WGN. And of course they had their techs who overpowered it right away. They switched to a secondary transmitter, took the signal out. So it was like 20 seconds, no audio. We wouldn't be talking about this today if that's all it was. It would just be this. Actually, we might be talking about it more, because it'd be even weirder. Like, what the hell was it? What happened? But then, a few hours later, it was the Chicago PBS affiliate got hit, and that's the famous one. And it was during Doctor Who. And of course, Doctor Who, everybody, all the nerds that watch it would record it. So there was a lot of footage out there, and oh man, they were so pissed off. And that was like the best part, was seeing all the news that people were just so angry that this happened. I'm like, this is awesome. This is like the coolest freaking thing. And yeah, it kind of sucks that, but like, it's really like if a breaking news event preempted like your favorite TV show, kind of thing. Only, this was better. I remember going to watch like sitcoms, but I couldn't because fucking Lyndon LaRouche bought airtime for his retarded presidential campaign that was going to go nowhere. So, I mean, that was it. But then you had people go, I was so angry I wanted to throw my TV through the window. And I kind of wonder, like, how much were these people being coached to say this? Because, journalists can't be trusted. Back then, we still did trust them. We didn't know. Not completely to the extent like today. But thanks to them, we were able to get this. And because it was PBS, it was, a lower power transmitter. And they were able to get the entire signal up and hijacked. So we got the audio and everything with it. And he made a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world's newspaper nerds, as he claimed, just like he promised us, and it was beautiful. And so that brings us to like, all right, how did this happen? Well, I think it took them time to configure. If you look at the delay, and he mentions Chuck Swarskey. Clearly, this was meant to target WGN. WGN was always, and I started watching WGN news because we did get WGN. It was the superstation, and they would, have their news programs just to see if there were any updates on it. Until I realized, no, they weren't going to update shit. Buffalo herd nearby. I don't know if I've ever seen this one. Mark Trammell, the creator of this, says he can get through it in 1/4, beginning to end. I think he's a fucking liar. No way. I know this was designed to fucking steal our money. There is no way. You can win CC. I don't believe it. Not without cheating. So anyway, it was during the 9 o'clock news when that happened. I did well, no, not 9 o'clock news. I think it might have been their 6 o'clock news. But it was a few hours until the PBS, the actual signal hijack happened. And so on one hand, I think that they tried it, they failed. I think they probably tried again, but weren't able to get back in. Or they didn't try because they knew WGN kind of had their number and shut it down. Like, they knew what happened. I say they because, yes, there was absolutely more than one person involved. And that's amazing that it has been kept so secret for so long. Of who actually did it. Whoever it is, they're a damn hero, and I hope they're still out there living their best life. And thank you for the memories. But so my theory is, like, they went after it. WGN was a target, but being a superstation, being like the big station in Chicago, that created some problems. And so then they decided to, well, we have this, we're set up, and I'm thinking, because the technology at the time, like, just doing this was so hard. Like, even with the technical knowledge, like, things weren't portable and battery powered like they are now. You know, like, you're not doing this with a bunch of D batteries and shit. And we'll get into some other theories about that. But they were they either had to reconfigure or just decide and then waited for the right time. And I kind of think they were waiting, knowing Doctor Who was going to be on. So I like to think that is a deliberate choice, as much as it was forced because they had to prepare for something else. The key, yeah. Good luck. Oh, I gotta get that key. Damn. Contestant 1. Good luck. Just insane. And because it's PBS, people, oh, we missed 2 keys. Yeah. People weren't going to be ready for it. It was just going to be a lot easier. And it worked. So people did think that it was done live. There was a lot of speculation, but you can tell it was pre-recorded. So, did they have a portable way of doing this? I kind of think that they did have like some kind of broadcast van set up that they were able to get direct line of sight to transmitters. I don't think that they were just in an apartment or a warehouse or anything like that, which is just like ridiculous. I think they were semi-mobile because, like, with the know how to do this, you must have had some kind of rig capable. Oh, I can shoot those bullets. How about that? So my theory and there have been a lot, like, there's not a lot of people that knew how to do this, and there's been a lot of speculation over the years, but keep in mind, like, nobody was really talking about this except for me. Yeah, there's a handful of true believers out there who remembered it, and I like knowing, but that I wasn't alone in that. But it wasn't until 2004 that people really started talking about it. And that was once the clip was able to come on YouTube and everything. Gonna switch this. And then people started saying that it was some sort of video artist from Wisconsin in Yeah, I think from Madison, Wisconsin, maybe Green Bay. I forget, like Ashley St. Clair or something like that. And who did these weird puppet things with like a crazy voice and all this. And that was like the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard. Like, there is absolutely no way it was this person. Like, there was nothing that indicated that they could have done that, or, you know, that they were inclined to, or even there. They were just from the same region. And they did a weird video art with like distorted voice that sounded similar to some freaking nerds, and that was what they said it was. And I'm like, come on, man.
Contestant 1. Good luck.
But that was the first, like, somebody is just making shit up and trying to say that they solved it. And the fact that, like, people would even entertain that, seriously, just boggled my mind. Like, anybody that was there, anybody that grew up and remembered it and remembered what it was like in 1987 would know that there's no way this person would have done it, could have done it. I don't say would. I mean, I would have done it if I could. It'd be awesome, but you know, I couldn't have. So, yeah, there is that. But yeah, and that sort of attitude has just really increases the mystery, has gotten older, and with YouTube and content creators, a lot of whom they don't know shit, they don't care about it, you know, they're just making content, they're just getting clicks, and they don't have, and they're young, they're a bunch of kids that don't have the cultural framework to understand it at all, or what things were like. Like, oh sweet, we're going to the Pleasure Dome, motherfuckers. Well, and this kept going. There was like some good investigation, and I started seeing more interesting things about it around 2010. Yeah, and that's really, you know, been the last time there's been anything relevant, you know, or interesting about the incident. But you know, in the early 2000s, once it started taking off on YouTube, and people were becoming familiar with it outside of, you know, nerds like me who were there and remembered it from back in the day, when it got a wider audience, and then people just started glamming on to like any weird videos with, like, you know, that were shot on like VHS or like low quality with distortions or anything like that. They're like, oh, I wonder if it's this. And then you have people saying like, oh yeah, there's the freakers in Chicago, and there are these autistic brothers, and they were talking about doing this at a Pizza Hut, and they said tune in to that. And that story is just absolute horse shit. There's just, it was 100% made up. And if you lived through that time, like, you would have known. There's absolutely nothing to that. They just wouldn't have been able, like, this was not something a couple of freakers back in the day could have pulled off without thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment, like tens of thousands of dollars. But it'd be one, like, if you told me they did a pirate radio station, absolutely believe that. But there was such a massive difference. And even back then, like right now, yeah, I can go out, I could put a pirate radio station up if I want right now for like $50, you know. If that, and without even having like technical know-how. That's how much, because I don't, but I could. There's instructions out there. It's easy to follow. Blah blah blah. You could do it. Back then, no way. Like, you're looking at hundreds of dollars at least, probably thousands, couple thousand, at least, for a pirate radio station that would have like no range at all. And we can do so much more now. Like, hell, even in like 2000, you could do it a lot easier, and there were a lot, you know, in the early 21st century that were popping up that were pretty cool, radio stations. But there was never, like, you know, a pirate television station. If there was, I mean, like, I could think of like the Lucky 7 incident, which there is no footage of, and that happened in the 70s. Late 70s, early 80s in New York. You know, it was way before there were VCRs. It wasn't a thing back then. And so what the people, you know, on Reddit were talking about with these like fucking autistic brothers meeting up at Pizza Hut with some kid and saying that, yeah, we're gonna do this, what, something big's happening in like a house of people. No way. It's not credible at all. They couldn't have done it. You need somebody with knowledge, and there's like, you know, a few dozen people probably that could have done that. I mean, you know, obviously more than that, but like in an area, in a region, like, people with that kind of engineering knowledge, that specific thing, it's a very small community, you know? And there's already people that say, like, they knew. Yeah. I believe that there are people that say they know who did it, and they won't say who it is. But I'm sure they're out there, and I think even if they don't 100% know, they have a good idea of who it was, and they can say with a great deal of certainty that it was likely this people. So in Chicago in 1987, there isn't going to be that many people capable of doing it. So what do we have? And yet the FCC and the feds couldn't catch a person. I mean, maybe they didn't investigate. Clearly, like, it points like it could be somebody disgruntled from WGN. But their internal investigation didn't turn up anything, so it wasn't an inside job, right? And it wouldn't have been, because, you know, the big hack happened at the PBS station. So, all right, if it wasn't an employee, or an employee that was recently fired at WGN, like who we had, maybe it was somebody that interviewed for a job, didn't get it. Maybe it was somebody who was denied an internship, something like that, denied an opportunity, wanted to show their stuff. And if it was like a lone person, that'd be one thing. I think this is more like this will be a fun prank. So I don't think it was like somebody acting out of some kind of petty beef necessarily, because there was more than one person involved. There were at least 2 people. I'd say there's probably 3 or 4. That's just my speculation. Now, here's the thing. And this is something that nobody has ever brought up. And that is, all right, they were targeting WGN. WGN apparently was showing Clutch Cargo reruns at some point. I never saw any of those, which is a bummer. Would have loved that. They didn't have that stuff for me. Chuck Swarskey, the Clutch Cargo, these are, you know, we can say that WGN was the target. Now, there was a show that's still on to this day called Svengoolie, or like Son of Svengoolie, something like that. It was like an old B-movie kind of show. I've never really watched it, but it's, you know, it was a Chicago show. I think he's based in Arizona now, with like on one of those old, you know, over-the-air TV networks, to get like the national distribution stuff, like that just shows old reruns. But the show is still on now. But at this point in Chicago, and again, this was something like I had no idea of until you know, several years ago when I was really trying to investigate and follow up, like, how legit could any of these leads be? What information was out there about it? And what I found was, like, shortly before this happened, the show got canceled. And I think it was like WGN was pulling it because of budget, something like that. But it was a long run. It was a popular show. It was a local show. And now a bunch of people were going to be out of work. And I could see somebody having some bad blood, especially if they're like, you know, going after Chuck Swarskey, who was like the big name on WGN and all that. Like, okay, well, you got to pay him, but we can't pay our employees, sort of thing. I could see somebody, crew from the Svengoolie show, doing this. Especially if they ended up being out of a job. And these would be people that would have had a motive, would have potentially had the technical know-how, and if they didn't, would have had the connections with people that did. And that would have been able to deflect from who they would have considered higher priority suspects. But I think it was likely somebody involved in that show had something to do with it or knows who does. That makes sense to me, and that's complete speculation, but I think it's more based in reality than a couple of autistic kids yeah, who just, we're gonna do this. That shit would not happen. Like, impossible. That's somebody making up shit on Reddit for attention. Whereas, like, if we're basing it on there, it would have to be somebody with that kind of knowledge, you know. And I don't think they investigated it. Like, honestly, I don't think that they really did. I think, like, WGN looked into it, and because they wanted to make sure that it wasn't their people, and they had enough to say, no, it wasn't these guys, wasn't an inside job, and then they just let it go from there. And I don't think the feds did anything. They couldn't triangulate the signal, like, it wasn't going. I don't think they ever figured out exactly where it was coming from. I think it got, like, narrowed down to a certain area, but like, they can't say for sure. It's just like, this is where it would most likely have to have been. in order for them to get the transmitter with what they likely would have had access to. There's a tech school in Chicago, so I mean, like, at the same time, it could have been engineering students doing a prank. But again, like, having that kind of access to the equipment they would have needed would be pretty difficult without anybody noticing. So somebody from IIT could have been involved, I'm sure. But UIC, yeah, it's something we'll never know. I know there are people that do know, and it's sad. I would like to know. I would like to know who it was. I wouldn't even like want to like tell anybody, but just like I want to learn about it. Keep their identity secret and just I just want to know about it. I want to hear stories. Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
But yeah, I know there are people that know, and we'll never know because, like, even though the statute of limitations has passed and all this, like, yeah, it has. But the thing is, the feds will find a way. Somebody would find a way to punish them for it. No good deed goes left unpunished, and that was a great deed. And so even with that, there would be some way, whether it would be like civil thing or they would find some other charges to bring against them that were tangentially related, you know, to the actual thing. And that's why we'll never know. Even though, like, it's out there. I would just like to know if they're still alive. I mean, what a fantastic life, you know, those people must have had. Just absolute brilliance of it. God, I love that they did that. I love that it happened. I love that I remember it, you know, that even though I didn't see it when it happened, like I saw it the next day on the news, and I've been fascinated with that stuff ever since. And I even have the mask, you know, it's the same Max Headroom mask. But my theory, the one that I'm sure could get debunked pretty easily by somebody with like more knowledge, more investigative skills than I have, is it was somebody from Svengoolie, somebody involved in that show, playing a little prank. But I think it was involved with that, and it's something that would provide the motive, that would have the knowledge required for it, and they'd be in the right location. So and the kind of humor, the creativity to do that. There was some stuff where I felt like, okay, it was not a credible, like, I don't want to say that argument for it, but a credible angle that I think would be worth looking into. And again, like something that could be dismissed pretty easily, like figured out pretty quickly. If you knew people involved. Just by investigating, it'd be easy to eliminate them, but I don't think that they were ever looked at. I don't think they would have been, especially like, you know, the FCC. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They definitely didn't back then. I think they're more punitive about things now, but unless they can easily get somebody and just fleece them for money, I don't think they're going to. You know, it's not like I have enough keys. Oh, hell yeah. We're going to the Pleasure Dome. But yeah, leave your theories in the comments. Let me know what you think. Who could have been behind it? I don't think it wasn't somebody that worked at PBS or anything like that. I mean, the fact that there was a woman involved, I think, also would make it slightly easier to track down. Even if, like, you know, she wasn't an engineer, which would have been like a freaking unicorn back then. Somebody who was involved with dating or married to somebody with the capabilities of doing that, with the right sense of humor, you know, somebody would know that. Like, yeah, that'd be something you should go along with. You could do it. You could find out. I'm sure it's out there. If somebody wants to do the FOIA request and really dig into things, to go down that rabbit hole, oh man, that's a journey I would love to go on with you. I just whoever did that is a hero of mine. some crazy shit I've always dreamed to do. Ever since then, a big inspiration, for better or worse. Yeah, don't believe what you hear on Reddit. And like, you know, this is why I wanted to just talk about this for a while and break it out. Like, people did not know about this. It was just Chicago that saw it, and even then, it was a very, very small percentage of people. And I guarantee you, like, there weren't even going to be a lot of people my age that even really remember it. I remember seeing there was a kid that was younger than me, interviewed on the news, a pretty famous clip about it. We thought it was funny. While like the adults who were taping it were all like, "Oh, it made me so angry." Oh, I'm like, no, that kid knows what's up. I mean, it's just like, but yeah, so like even people from Chicago, like, and I've known people from Chicago that grew up, they were my age, and they never heard of it. Like, they were there and they'd never heard of it until I told them about it. So, again, until, you know, like the 2000s, this was not a very well-known thing. It didn't really start picking up steam until 2004. And I say that, I mean, it was well-known, but not like it is now. And now I see these kids, these content creators, making just all sorts of nonsense. And they're saying, oh, this was an MK Ultra thing, or oh, it was so disturbing. It was like you know, I'm like, you're so fucking soft. Like, it was weird, but it wasn't like disturbing, you know. I mean, hell. But then I saw a guy blow his brains off on live TV when I was growing up. So shit. I mean, I'm doing all right there too. Yeah, I saw the Bud Dwyer thing. It was home from school. That was fun. And they played it again on the news that night. I mean, that was the time. But they're saying like, oh, this could have been, you know, some MK Ultra activation signal. And there are people out there that, like, these kids literally believe that. And it's like, no, that was not anything like that. You gotta be shitting me to even entertain that. Like, that's the point where you really have to step back from the conspiracy theory things. If you think that the Max Headroom incident was some sort of activation signal, like, you're fucking retarded. And you need to go touch grass. Like, seriously, get off the internet. Go do something, because no. It was a prank. It was a very good prank. It was a very high-tech prank. It was a proof of concept prank, I think, more than anything. But yeah, there was a lot of speculation about if it was live. Like, and honestly, like, back then, it really would have seemed easier like technology-wise, to do something like that live, and then just like then to record it and get it out there. And that's because of things were not portable, you know. So like the idea of like, we're going, oh, where should I go? Outer Pleasure Dome area, hell yeah. Ladies, I don't think I've ever made it to the Pleasure Dome before, so that's awesome. I'm glad you got to be here for that. So funny, like, yeah, nobody's ever gonna get there. We're not even gonna put it in the game. Oh wow! Now decapitating evil MC. That's cool. I've never seen this before. Eat my eyeballs. Oops.
Contestant 1. Good luck.
I don't know how I'm gonna get past them.
Good luck. Good luck. 10 seconds. Contestant 1. Good luck.
Ah, yeah. Like the second I try to go past him, he flattens me. They're unironically thinking it was something. It did not like capture the nation's attention. People were not freaking out about this. There were Doctor Who fans that definitely were in Chicago, but that's it. Nobody. It was national news, and then it was forgotten as quickly as it happened. Except from those of us who saw it, who remembered it, who kept it alive. Because it is like probably the coolest thing that ever happened on television. Yeah. I'll agree with. Oh, come on, man. Getting that key anyway. I don't care. I want it. Yeah, if you're interested in researching, figuring out who it could have been, I think the Svengoolie show at that time needs looked into. And again, I'm sure it's something that will get dismissed pretty easily. Like, once somebody actually digs into it. But there's a lot of things that fit, that make it a possibility. A very slim possibility. But a hell of a lot more based in reality than a couple of autistic freakers, talking about doing this to some random kid in a Pizza Hut who posts on Reddit in, 2008. Yeah, after never mentioning it before. Like, if you see it on Reddit, most of that shit, it's just not true. And again, yeah, we'll never know, but we have the memories, and that's great. You've graduated to the elite ranks of the Smash TV survivors. Yeah. You are a great Smash TV player. Well, let's not go that far. Maybe the best of all time? Well, I mean, I am pretty great. Thank you for playing Smash TV. Good luck. You'll need it. You're the next lucky contestant. Yeah, so there we have it. Thanks for going down memory lane with me about this. Eugene Jarvis, the man behind Robotron 2084. Big inspiration of this game. Mark Trammell, also, NBA Jam. Tobias in there too. A lot of the same guys that the NBA Jam, Mortal Kombat, involved with this game. Pretty awesome. And of course, Eugene Jarvis is he's a freaking legend. And all of those guys are from Chicago too. So think about, like, a lot of these guys, at least Eugene Jarvis, could have been involved. It could have been Eugene Jarvis in that mask. You never know. You never know. I mean, if Mark Trammell can beat this in one credit, and yes, I know he made it, but, come on. This was not designed to be beaten. There we go. If Mark Trammell can do it, can 1cc Smash TV without developer cheats, things that only he would know, like flipping dip switches or something. I'm talking like just putting a quarter in on default settings and going, then anything is possible. Which means Mark Trammell, Eugene Jarvis, they could have been under that mask. Way. Or even me. If Mark Trammell can actually do this, I will take the fall with the fans for the Max Headroom incident. Even though I was 10 and on the other side of the country, I will. I'll take the FCC punishment for it if Mark Trammell actually does that in front of me on a board. One coin. Went in. I picked the place. I picked the machine. Not tampered with. We have independent thing. All right. That's enough rambling. Thanks for watching, everybody. This has been fun. And thanks for coming down memory lane with me. And remember the 22nd of November, 1987. And take care.